Hey everyone, thanks for joining. Of course, back here with Mark. Got a cool video. Going to do a little Norsemont update, talk about geophysics. Before I hit record, Mark said he had some surprises, so hopefully we'll talk about those soon as well. But first things first, Mark, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Nice to be back and chatting again. As you saw last time, we kind of gave you a good update, and we put out some news since then. Obviously, things are progressing, which is really good. Uh, we talked about the fact that we were we put out news on the geophysics program. We've got people on the ground as of last week that were actually doing the geophysical work, which is nice. So that's been progressing really well. Hopefully, we'll get that program done and get those results in short order. We talked about some samplings that we were doing, and we've upgraded the program. What originally was going to be 12,000 samples, which is for our resource estimate, to 15,000. We're just kind of doing a little more than what they asked us to be careful that go we don't have to go back. And so that ties in with some exciting news that we should have in short order here over the next little while. Here is our resource estimate that we've been working on, because that's going to add some serious value to the company, give more certainty to institutions. And so that's why we kind of, instead of just doing the 12,000 and then filing, and then they say, oh, you need to do more and it delays, we just said, let's just spend a bit more money, get more certainty on the data. So we did 15,000. I think we're still, we were supposed to be, the program was ending for the end of May, but because we've extended the size of the program, so it should be done by the end of June here, which will be nice. And then we can go and hopefully get through the BC Securities Commission our resource estimate, which would be nice to get published and get out there to the market and give better certainty out there, and give us data. We're also working on we've applied for our cartopanencia, which would allow us to drill the dumps, which is we've got close to 500,000 ounces of gold in the dumps. So we're told by the reports we have from AMAC that we'll be having the ability to do sonic drilling on those dumps and get a better certainty on what's there, what the grade is, what the metallurgy is, which would give us better negotiating power to bring in a partner engineering firm to put those into production and generate some cash flow. So we're getting really close. I think we're expecting over the next few weeks here. So hopefully by the end of June, I think we'll have our cartopanencia for being able to start the sonic drilling on the dumps, which will also set a precedence for us to be able to get our cartopanencia for the existing 39 drill pads that we have, which would be the most exciting part of the story, is finally drilling this thing to depth and obviously proving that there is a lot more resources at depth than what was previously drilled in the olden days here, because most of the drilling was at surface to 80 meters and we want to go down to 50. So that would be fun to be able to drill, the first 100 holes on the project and get the ball rolling. And then we also would lead into doing a larger drilling application for hundreds of drill pads, but that's going to take a bit more time. But this would probably keep us busy, which would get the market excited. Of course, everybody wants to hear your drilling. Everybody wants to see that, the grades are what we've told them. People want to see that the resource is open at depth, open at strike. So that definitely will get, I think, the market going, considering where our share price is. I think it's a very poor reflection of our asset, unfortunately, where our current share price is.
Well, that's pretty exciting surprises. Obviously, some drilling looking to kick off here soon. I know in
Yeah.
previous videos we talked about how COVID was affecting Chile, so it's awesome that you guys are starting to move and everything's kicking off here. And looking forward to hopefully talking about some drilling, like you said. Yeah, definitely exciting parts of the story, and I would love to hear more about the dumps and others. But that's fantastic. Do you want to go over a little bit of the geophysics kind of plan? I know we saw some questions after the press release. Anything in general you want to chat about it?
I think, from because we don't have the results for the geophysics public, because we're not finished the geophysics program just yet. There's not a lot for me to say other than the fact that it's going to provide us a lot more data and tighten up the drilling. So instead of just going into a drill program and maybe spending more money than we should, and not drilling maybe the best locations, this will allow us to kind of pinpoint where exactly we want to drill to define better grade or get better depth on it, and where we want to kind of maybe set some exploratory holes. There is obviously one of the things we don't talk about a lot, is that Rio Tinto had discovered that there's a large copper porphyry at depth, which is the system that drove this whole epithermal gold silver system. And so we will plan to do some holes to test for that to see if we can gain some geological information. And if we get lucky and hit, that would be, a big bonus. It's not what's expected, but the main focus is going to be really on expanding and delineating, at depth more resources on the silver gold side of the equation.
Yeah, awesome. Well, look, that's a lot of teasers, a lot of good things coming. Obviously, a lot of good news flow items. So fantastic. Looking forward to covering some stuff here soon. Anything else you wanted to cover? I think this is a
Yeah,
pretty
there
condensed
there
update.
there is
Yeah.
two things. I would say there's one thing that now that things have, this hasn't been stated publicly, but we've had three groups that were consistently selling stock in our market, which didn't necessarily help us. And we've put together a consortium who have now bought them out. And I can't really say names because it's not public information. But that being said, there's some newer, stronger people that have come to the table to take a significant investment into Norsemont. We're talking about seven figures, and buy out a big position from some former shareholders. And so that's really helpful because that stock subject to an escrow and a bleed out, and these people are longer term people and supportive, and they own stock at higher levels, and they're looking at acquiring more stock in the market now that everything's closed. So we've got a new, I guess, group that is going very long in Norsemont. And myself, subject to board approval, because obviously there's certain times where I'm blacked out and I can't make any movements in the market. And because of where our share price is at, what our treasury is at, I'm looking personally with my RSP, I'm planning to start to buy a significant position in the market when I'm allowed to. I have to caveat that because there may be, if there's any results, then obviously I can't be buying in the market when there's news. But when there isn't news and I'm not aware of anything, I'll have permission from the board to hopefully step in here and start picking up
Wow.
a
Well, let
position
me,
for.
as a hopefully the voice for a bunch of the people listening, thank you. Obviously, that's a great vote of confidence. Yeah, that's a great surprise. Holy, obviously fantastic to see when the CEO of a company is buying stock in the company. So fantastic, a nice vote of confidence. That's incredible. Whether it's a few thousand or more, obviously, thank you. That's great.
I had to wait till some of
Yeah.
this news comes out too, right? So that's kind of where I've been a little bit handcuffed, but hopefully,
Oh, well, makes sense.
at
Well,
these prices,
yeah,
it's ridiculous with our
check
share price.
check the SETI filings.
Yeah.
Hopefully some good updates coming. Well, awesome. Well, Mark, those are some great updates. Anything else you want to surprise us with?
No, I think that's it. I mean, we've been working really hard. I mean, the key thing is we've got a lot of money in our bank account and we've been putting it to good use on the project. So that should generate some results from our sampling, our geophysics, and eventually here our drilling and our resource estimates. So we are working hard despite COVID. It is getting better. Obviously, even in Canada, I'm going to say, hey, a lot of guys have their first shot and we're moving on to the second shot. Chile's opening up. The Santiago has been opened up now, and we actually got access to a lot more data, which was that we didn't previously have, which is very valuable to us as well and helpful. So yeah, things are starting to kind of open up in North America and South America here, and hopefully, A, we get through this COVID in short order, and B, obviously, we want to provide the market some information about the project and all the work we've been doing. Right, our team's been working really hard. They've been off back and forth, and hopefully, we'll get you some videos and some photos. We're going to update our website. I think we're going to add some photos of the project, of some of the people that have been on there recently too. So hopefully, people check back in the next week or two on our website, and hopefully, we'll be able to post up some added new photos and potentially some video as well.
Yeah, awesome. Well, look, a lot of good things in the hopper. Obviously, thanks for doing this. Looking forward to kind of talking about some of these updates going forward. But Mark, thanks so much for joining. This is a great video.
Yeah, no, awesome. And